Finance Minister in Jamaica. We'll also hear from our achievements and manifesto committee chairman, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson, also having the distinction of being the first woman to be Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister in Jamaica. We'll hear as well from the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon.
Right, then we'll now go on to
Without further delay, I invite Dr. Tufton to present his remarks. Dr. Tufton.
Thank you very much, Abka. Good afternoon to all who are here and my colleagues at the head table.
Okay.
We thank you very much for coming, and thanks to those who are listening online. I'm happy to report that the Jamaica Labour Party's general election campaign machinery is going well so far. We're comfortable with what has been happening, and we're comfortable with the response to date. I say so with utmost respect and humility for the work that we're doing and for the Jamaican people who are looking on and responding to the message led by the Most Honorable Prime Minister and party leader. We have, as you know, rolled out our achievements document. It was important for us because we have been in office for 9+ years, and we are pleased, having reviewed the response, the demands, the requests for more, and indeed the contents and the comments related to the content, that it was the right thing to do, and the feedback on the ground has been extremely positive. Our first major mass rally, for want of a better term, which was held in Halfway Tree, where we rolled out all our candidates on display and reinforced the message of the Labour Party. We are very satisfied both with the turnout, but the organization, in fact, the commentary, both from those watching in TV land or those present, for us, in keeping with the approach that we expose and we want to maintain in this campaign as we have as a government, orderly, disciplined, and hopefully effective because of the consistency of the message. So that those two large events we think have gone very well, and we're happy so far with what is happening. We are not going to get complacent, however, nor distracted, and there's a lot of noise in the environment. Our focus is to continue the work, and there are other things that will happen in the coming days and coming weeks, and you will be told or be kept abreast of those developments as they unfold. Nomination day, we're all set for that. That's on Monday, and our candidates are very confident, are prepared, are adding the final touches on the ground in their constituencies, in their communities, and oiling their machinery to make a positive impact, and of course to get the best possible result, which is to get them elected to the parliament. We have our own program, and we're pursuing our program, but it is a competitive space, and we have to take note of what the others are doing, and indeed where we think we need to comment, we comment. We do notice that the People's National Party rolled out a document that they have termed their manifesto. And we want to spend a little time today with the team to comment on aspects of that document. Not everything, but certain aspects of it. And my colleagues here on the platform are going to take different areas. I just want to give a general summary, however, in the first instance, and then a quick summary on the health aspect, given that I man that portfolio. First of all, it clearly seemed to have been a very rushed and hurriedly prepared document, just by way of how it was laid out and the errors that were in the document, forces us to conclude that not a lot of thought went into it, and clearly the time that should have been spent, that one would expect for an organization that is hoping to provide leadership in the country, that was certainly betrayed based on what we saw presented to the country. Having perused the document, we found multiple spelling errors as a case in point. We were chastised for one spelling error in our achievements document. It wasn't an error on our part, but nevertheless, we took the criticisms. And they did a lot of that criticizing. Their document had multiple, not one. I think the last count was about 8 or more, and that's just the spelling error. There were several inaccuracies in the document. The one that was quite outstanding to us is the reference to, in the table of contents, of 8 pillars. Then the address by their leader of 10 pillars in the document, the same document. And then the term love, Jamaica love, which has each letter referring to a document, an area of focus, and that is 11 areas of focus. So the first question I would ask is, what is it? Is it a pillar of 8, a pillar of 10, or a pillar of 11? Clearly what it signals to us is that it is confusing, and you wonder if that is the approach that they would want to take to providing leadership as a government. I mentioned that because it sounds simple, but they made a big issue with it when they noticed the one spelling error in our document, and clearly it reflects on them and what they represent. For us, the manifesto seemed to have been a copy and paste wish list, ranging from being incoherent to major imitation of what currently entails and what this government is doing. And my colleague will speak more on that. In one case, it had a number of impractical suggestions that we think would need a lot more explanation and raises more questions than answers. And in another case, they seem to have repeated a lot of what the government is doing. And we are doing it with success, and we'll elaborate a little more on that. They promised to reduce electricity costs, for example. But as you know, the discussion around them signing an electricity deal that drove up the cost of electricity. It is now that this government and the Minister Baz, is now attempting to renegotiate that arrangement in order for the consumers, for the Jamaican people to benefit. The manifesto appears to be promoting ideas that seems not well thought out or risk reversing the gains we believe that we have made in terms of our economic model. And the theme Jamaica loves doesn't reconcile if that's the direction the country is going to go in, because it's one thing to say you love Jamaica and love Jamaicans, but if your policies and programs run a risk of increasing debt, increasing poverty, and increasing unemployment, then clearly that is not a love that is worthy of note or certainly acceptance. And there are several examples of them prescribing certain policies that runs counter to what their theme captures in their manifesto. Our campaign has focused on critical achievements, and with good cause, because we have been in government for such a long time. And our achievements that we have listed, all 256, are tangible achievements. And we will continue to appeal to the Jamaican people to judge us on those achievements: reduction in poverty, reduction in crime, the increase in unemployment, the largest job creation that has ever taken place, and several other achievements which we have put out on display and which have impacted people on the ground. That for us is the big pitch, and why we humbly suggest it justifies us remaining in office for the next 5 years. I'm going to spend a few minutes on health, because again, in keeping with the cut and paste approach, a number of things were suggested within the health portfolio that we are in fact addressing. They speak about maternal care, and I know they have made some issues with that in the past year. Maternal mortality is actually trending down. In the COVID years, it was just over 200. It's now 133 in a year ago. We're still tracking the numbers to see what it was last year. We have done a number of things to impact maternal mortality, in improving engagements with mothers early in their pregnancy, governance and monitoring, facilities and equipment that have been upgraded, a lot more engaging approach at the primary healthcare level. In fact, the statistics indicate that last year, some 45% of mothers visit with their health centers to get medical care and support and advice, as opposed to almost half that amount 3 years prior. And this was after COVID. So we are seeing significant improvements, and those improvements will continue. And what they are proposing in their manifesto is what we are actually doing. They speak about the National Health Fund and the expanded care that they propose to provide in under the National Health Fund. Since 2015, 9 conditions of illness have been added to the National Health Fund. So the government has actually expanded coverage under the National Health Fund. We have added sickle cell disease, lupus, cervical cancer, attention deficit disorder, colorectal cancer, multiple myeloma, lung cancer, Parkinson's disease, and thyroid disease. In other words, these were areas that were not covered under the PNP and are now covered under this administration. In 2015, less than 1 million prescriptions were written. Last year, 3 million prescriptions were written. We have more outlets for drug dispensation, which we are giving more drugs. We're treating more categories of illnesses. And within the appropriate time when our manifesto is unveiled, we will speak more about the additional role that the National Health Fund will take on. They speak about the diaspora and making it easier to donate. There's a number of things that we have done as a government to improve diaspora engagement. My colleague, Minister of Foreign Affairs, is beside me and she can comment on some of those things, but we've effectively set up an entity within the ministry. We have direct staff that now deals with diaspora arrangements. We have eliminated the cost to ship things in once they are verified as donations. We have made it easier to deal with clearance, customs clearance, with approvals if it's a medical mission. And one reflection of that success is the Adopt a Clinic program, where 55 health centers have been adopted across the country, and maybe 70% or thereabouts of those are linked to persons living in the diaspora. No other government has engaged the diaspora as effectively, not just in health, but in all areas. Credit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, who has primary responsibility for that area. The final one I'll mention, even though there are several others, to allow my other colleagues to come in, is cancer care. It is a big area, and the government is seized with that. It's the fastest growing area of illness, even though it's not the largest cause of mortality in the country. We have done a number of things, both on the prevention side, where the issues around unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, tobacco legislation, alcohol, air pollution, the HPV vaccine, which has been introduced to the population, the introduction of the fecal immunochemical test for colorectal cancer screening in primary healthcare facilities, mammograms, which were not available before, are now available. We need to do more, but we have started to introduce those testing. It's available at KPH and Cornwall Regional, pap smear screening, and improvement in the turnaround time. Diagnostic services are more available today than they were in 2015 when they were there. I'm prepared to say we have more to do, but we are certainly better off, and we're on a journey that will take us to even a better place in the next term. And in terms of clinical care, we have had a technical working group updating clinical guidelines on breast, prostate, colorectal, and cervical cancers, as well as expansion of treatment services at a number of institutions, Mandeville Regional, Spanish Town, St. Anne's Bay Hospital, and as I said earlier, 3 additional categories of cancer drugs introduced under the NHF, which never existed before. I say all of this, and it's just a summary to say that what the PNP has done is essentially, in a sort of hodgepodge type of way, cut and paste, that's how it appears, and not very well or professional with all the errors that are present in the document, with ideas that are either being pursued with great success by this government or ideas that are impractical, and they would need to explain to the Jamaican people how they intend to implement those without putting us back to where we were when they were in office.
Yes, sir.
Before I introduce my colleague, I just want to say that our manifesto is ready and will be launched at an appropriate time. And therefore, we will have a basis, and hope the country and the voters will have a basis to compare and contrast. And we're very proud of the work that we have done. It is obviously a follow-on from the work that has been done over the last 9 years. And we believe it will put Jamaica at a better place and have us as a government doing even more for the people of Jamaica. At this point, I want to hand back to you, sir, Chair.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Chris. The government of Dr. Holness has presided over stabilization of the Jamaican economy. In so doing, we have implemented a number of give-back initiatives, including the Solidarity Program and the reverse income tax credit. And importantly, we have imposed no new taxes on the people of Jamaica over 8 consecutive years. Part of our argument is that continuity is important. In that context, I invite the Honorable Favour Williams to offer some remarks.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to Jamaicans who are watching us this afternoon. And Dr. Tufton, I agree with you. The point needs to be repeated that the PNP hurriedly put together a manifesto with many errors, and the fact that the PNP does not know if they are talking about 8, 10, or 11 pillars shows a slapdashedness about the PNP's manifesto. As you heard, and I am repeating it in the table of contents, the PNP called it 8 pillars. In Mark Golding's written segment of the manifesto, he referenced 10 pillars, and in their diagram in the manifesto in which they spelled out Jamaica Love, they itemized 11 pillars. So which is it? 8, 10, or 11? The maths is not mathsing. PNP made many promises in the manifesto. And as the Jamaican people are pressing for the cost of those promises, the PNP has hurriedly put out a cost. They said that their many promises will cost 10% of discretionary funds. First, I'd like Jamaicans to know that there is no major line item in the budget called discretionary funds. So for the PNP to be speaking of discretionary funds, it shows their fundamental lack of understanding of this country's budget. Jamaica's budget rolls up into some major segments: programs, 359 billion, compensation of employees, 496 billion, interest payment, 177 billion, capital expenditure, 63 billion, and then you have loan payment and loan receipts. So if they do not understand the budget, I want Jamaicans to really ask themselves, are the PNP ready to lead this country if they don't understand the budget? I don't believe that they are ready to lead this country. So I say to Jamaicans, if you take nothing away today from this press conference, I want you to take away with you the fact that the PNP does not understand government, the PNP does not understand Jamaica's budget, and the PNP is not ready to lead this country. But let's examine their 10%. The only line item in the budget that they could be thinking of is a line item called programs. Programs are recurring, which means they have to be provided for year after year after year, and includes things like PATH, grant store schools for operations of the schools, funds for public order and safety, funds for waste management, health supplies and services, art and cultural services, social security and welfare services, which include sickness and disability, help for senior citizens, survivors assistance, funding for family and children. These are all important programs that continue year after year after year. And so I would like the PNP to tell Jamaicans today or any day before Election Day on September 3rd, 2025, which of these programs they will cut, eliminate, or defer into the future in order to fund their raft of promises. And I'm asking the Jamaican people not to let them off the hook with these promises that they're not telling you how they will fund them. If they can't tell you how they will fund them, then they are simply empty promises. Here today, gone tomorrow. So every time you hear them speak of these promises, ask them, how will you fund it? Will you tax us, the Jamaican people, to fund it? Will you cut something in the budget to make way for your promises? Or, like the PNP has a history of doing, will you borrow to fund it? And let them answer the question. So to the people of Jamaica, I say here we are again on the eve of an election with promises from the PNP that they have not explained how they will fund. We know their history. The PNP are the party that puts more taxes on the people. They are the party that adds more debt to the debt stock. Do not let them anywhere near Jamaica House. They will wreck the economy again. They do not understand this country's budget. They do not understand government. And the PNP are not ready to lead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Favour. I believe it was the late, great Nelson Mandela that said education is the most powerful tool which may be used to change the globe. That's a conviction of the Jamaica Labour Party and the administration of Dr. Holness. I invite Senator Dr. the Honorable Dana Morris Dixon to present her comments.
Thank you very much, Abka, and good afternoon to everyone here, and good afternoon to Jamaicans who are listening to us. My role today is to give some commentary on the manifesto of the PNP, specifically looking at the education, youth and skills section, and also the digital transformation related areas. And when I read through it, it was very clear to me that you could say that the PNP chooses the Jamaica Labour Party. That's what I got from the manifesto, and especially with education. Let's note that our Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, created a commission, an education commission, to look at how we can improve education. That commission gave us the Patterson report. And we reported recently that we're already 30% down the road in implementing those recommendations from that esteemed body. And so when you look at the manifesto, it is indeed a cut and paste of the Andrew Holness administration's policies. And I'll go through a few areas. I could go through many more, but I know our chair will say I need to stop after a little bit. But if we look at literacy and numeracy, a few minutes after I was appointed Minister of Education on October 31, 2024, I said that the goal of the administration and my goal would be to focus on literacy and numeracy and to ensure that every child is literate and numerate before they leave primary school. But then I read in the manifesto, the PNP promises that every child can read, write, do arithmetic, and reason by age 12. Sounds like exactly what I said on October 31, 2024. In terms of early childhood education, I saw a note that said the PNP is seeking to reintroduce structured early childhood screening from age 3 to identify special needs early. And I'd like to note that recently I spoke to Jamaica about this being a top priority of the administration already. And we have already implemented a new age 4 assessment across all of our basic schools in Jamaica, where we are looking at being able to do just that. And so the Jamaica Early Childhood School Readiness Assessment was designed to screen 4-year-old children for child developmental delays and readiness for primary school. All students who have been identified as potential special needs children have a new program that's been created for them to support their continued development. So on those points, we're already doing it, and that's already been articulated as policy. In relation to special education, it's another area we have spoken a lot about. And when I looked at what it says a lot of what we are already doing. So for example, it notes that we're going to provide resources to place an emphasis on the diagnosis of learning disabilities. I thought that was what I wrote. I had to read it again. It sounded exactly like what we've been doing in our administration. We have noted that we are building a new diagnostic center for children with special needs at CASE. And just on Sunday at our mass rally, the Prime Minister again articulated how central special needs are and how we are expanding services to parents of children with special needs. On school nutrition, another area where we are doing so much work on nutrition. We already spend $9 billion a year to support our children, especially those on PATH. And I've already announced, I announced this months before the budget presentation, that we were going to extend our nutrition support. We're not doing one meal for our students who are on PATH. For our schools where we have children who are underperforming, I have announced on several occasions that come September, we are going to be doing 2 meals per day, breakfast and lunch, for all of those vulnerable children. And so when I read ease, I say that is our policy too, that has been cut and pasted. In terms of our teachers, I noted there was a proposal to remove GCT from laptops for teachers. I would like to again remind Jamaica that this administration has provided 25,000 vouchers to our teachers to provide them with the resources to get their laptops. Every single teacher in Jamaica has their laptop. So we're not just talking about eliminating a tax, we're actually giving them the laptop. So that proposal seemed very strange. It also spoke to training our teachers in terms of technology, but we're doing a lot of that already. In partnership with the EU, we are upskilling and reskilling our teachers in ICT. We're also rolling out more technology and AI tools in our schools. Right now, we have an AI tool that can mark papers. And our teachers, some of them are using it now so they don't have to mark papers on their own. In terms of labs, I saw something about labs and we're going to put more investment into labs. I've already announced a $400 million initiative, an investment in all 15 of our technical high schools. And we're going to put in state-of-the-art labs. So for example, I give you some examples. St. Andrew Technical High School will get a renewable energy lab. Herbert Morrison is getting a robotics lab. Dintil Technical is getting a lab for digital construction. Kingston Technical is getting a virtual welding lab. And St. Elizabeth Technical is getting a mechatronics lab. This is the kind of visionary work that we're doing. We're not writing a sentence about a lab. We're actually already doing it. In terms of civics in schools, I have the wonderful former Minister of Education here with me. She introduced civics back into schools in 2022. So this notion that we're going to introduce civics that the PNP has in their manifesto makes no sense because it has already been reintroduced. Over 500 schools have introduced civics. In addition to that, we are also introducing it not just at the high school level, but we're going through the entire process. So from your basic school to your primary school to your secondary school, it's been introduced. And there's so many more that I could talk about. I will go to digital transformation. One thing that really struck me was when I read a particular sentence, and it said the PNP is promising to introduce digital identification cards with biometric security for seamless access to services. I had to read it again. And then I wondered if I was reading what I actually saw. And I read it again. Introduce digital identification cards with biometric security for seamless access to services. That is NIDS.
Yes.
That is the same NIDS that was fought. It's the same NIDS that was challenged that now finds its way into a manifesto. But I'd like to remind Jamaica that NIDS was launched in late 2024. In addition to that, broadband access. The manifesto notes that they're going to be doing more broadband. We are already doing that. 700 schools, over 700 schools now have internet, and more than 380 communities have Wi-Fi. They talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and having an AI and ethics commission. We convened a AI task force early. We have an AI policy in education. We're the first country in the Caribbean to have that. We're already a leader in AI and doing big things in artificial intelligence. So as I read the manifesto, and I put on my hat as a former who used to have to mark master's theses, I had to wonder, why did it sound so much like what we're already doing? It couldn't just be that, you cut and paste. Now, I'm a big proponent of using artificial intelligence. And so as I thought through it, I realized that this must have used AI. And so I asked ChatGPT, I prompted ChatGPT to write an education plan for Jamaica. Did it in ChatGPT 5. And when the results came, which I have here, sounded just like the manifesto. The education section sounded just like that. And for those of you who know, ChatGPT 5, their data was mostly cut off in October 24. So the training data that's used was from then. And so that's why it looks so much like what we've already articulated and what we are doing. So this sounds like something from AI. And so in terms of my thoughts, having read those sections and analyzed it and analyzed the broader document, it appears that their manifesto is really a Choose the Jamaica Labour Party manifesto, or indeed a Choose the Andrew Holness administration manifesto. And I say it's indeed a love letter, but it's a love letter to the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Thank you very much, Dana, for a very impressive and comprehensive presentation, which confirms that the administration of Dr. Holness is getting it done, certainly in the area of education, but there are a number of areas as well which the opposition has commented on, which requires critical analysis. And I now turn over to the chairman of the Manifesto and Achievements Committee, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith.
Thank you, Senator Fitzhenley, and thank you, colleagues. Good afternoon to media present. Good afternoon to. Yo. Good afternoon to everyone who is with us here in the room, and of course everyone who's joining us online, everyone who is watching in Jamaica, and of course overseas. I have a particular love for you, so welcome, and again, we're glad you're spending time with us. I'll just try to touch on a few areas, and I want to start with the title of the PNP's manifesto. And I want to make it clear that my view is that, and my considered view, is that the title they have used is the most insincere and disingenuous title which the PNP could have chosen for their manifesto. Why do I say this? They have spent the last 3 to 4 years tearing down Jamaica in every forum, whether domestically or internationally, maligning our systems recklessly without any concern as to the risk to which they have put our systems or our beloved country. They have maligned the media, which affects our global media freedom positioning on the index. They have accused us recklessly and baselessly of corruption, which affects our transparency perception index. We are grateful that the Media Without Borders or Journalists Without Borders do, however, check their facts, because we have continued to do very well within the Caribbean on that index, and we have continued to score the highest as compared to under the PNP's administration on the Transparency Perception Index, because it is recognized that the facts do not match with the PNP's narrative. However, not only to tear Jamaica down internationally, but to start your campaign with the mantra of blood and fire, recalling one of, if not the most politically violent periods in Jamaica's history, at a time when the government is working relentlessly to restore peace. And then, as you approach the election date, you magically seek to print a document with the word love on it and the word Jamaica on it, and expect that the Jamaican people should accept that you are truly a peace-loving party and that you are truly a patriotic country, when all of your conduct over the last 3 to 4 years has crossed the line long ago beyond productive and constructive criticism and opposition into unpatriotic and anti-Jamaican conduct. It is disingenuous, it is, to put it softly, insincere, and I want the Jamaican people to be clear that the PNP has shown you who they are, and so we must believe them. One document, slapdash, cut and paste, AI generated, however you put it, it is not sufficient to correct who they have shown us themselves to be. The next point that I want to take is more on the lines of content. And again, however, regrettably, I have no conclusion other than that they are, again, entirely disingenuous or perhaps uninformed. The extent to which their policies replicate or repackage policies and programs in place already by the Jamaica Labour Party is astonishing. It is astonishing. And I heard someone this morning on the radio describing it as continuity, which we should celebrate. But that is in fact not the case. If it were continuity, they would say so. But what they have done is actually position the programs and the policies as if they are new and as if they are theirs, without any reference or acknowledgement to the fact that there are things in progress. That is not continuity. That is political and intellectual dishonesty or ignorance. The Jamaican people can assess and decide which one it is. Neither one is good or ready to lead. If I take that approach and apply it to the foreign affairs and foreign trade section of the manifesto, because as my colleagues have worn their portfolio hats, I'm going to wear my hat for a little while. Their very first proposal, if I recall correctly, is that they will restore active re-engagement within CARICOM. Who is the chair of CARICOM? To the Most Honorable Andrew Holness is the chair of the Conference of Heads of Government and State of CARICOM at this point in time. For the second time, we have chaired COFCOR, we have chaired COTED. Prime Minister is also the chair of the External Trade Negotiations Committee in the quasi-cabinet of CARICOM, one of the areas which is most critical and on which he's leading now, given the various trade challenges which are affecting the region. We were the very first country in the Caribbean. Prime Minister Holness was the first Prime Minister in Parliament to call for the UN to assist Haiti. He was the only, and is to date, the only CARICOM Prime Minister who has gone to Haiti to meet with stakeholders, to engage with their leadership and their political stakeholders with a view to finding solutions. Jamaica hosted 2 Haiti stakeholder meetings, including the one that delivered the breakthrough for the establishment of the Transitional Presidential Council, which is currently offering leadership to that country. To say that you are going to actively re-engage, are you uninformed or are you politically dishonest? Again, Jamaica must make the choice, having looked, but neither is good. I want to make the point as well, in respect of their engagement with CARICOM, that when we took office, I'm sure you must all know, even if you didn't personally experience, but how Jamaicans were treated when we traveled within the region was not good. And it was particularly bad with Trinidad, and our goods were not given access to their markets, and we have literally fixed both problems. We now travel with very good relations. They are not perfect. No system is ever perfect when you're relying on individuals to implement systems, but government to government, across administrations on their side, and certainly as it has been over the last 9 years, massively improved, and something that we continue to work on. Our trade within CARICOM continues to be positive, and in fact, we've even had several win-win circumstances where we have been exporting refined oil to Trinidad, which they are able to add value to and export elsewhere, earning on both sides. So again, to actively restore engagement, we're not sure where they're coming from with all of that. I want to also note that they have said that they will be working and restoring on international cooperation and human rights and self-determination, etc. But Jamaica has stood on every forum or in every forum for the territorial sovereignty of Guyana and Belize in their territorial disputes. We have stood with Ukraine in their the war which has sought to offend the principles of territorial integrity and sovereignty. We have recognized the state of Palestine with a view to seeking a 2-state solution. We are the first government to make that recognition since independence, which means that the PNP has never done it, even though they're willing to try and raise a flag, again demonstrating that they are all about gimmicks and image and what they think people want to see or hear. But when it comes to doing the actual work, the Jamaica Labour Party is doing it already. They say that they're going to engage the diaspora on constitutional reform. But Minister Malahoo Fort has been having town halls in the US and in the UK, and this process is not done yet. So they're not adding any value to the area of foreign affairs and foreign trade. And I really, really suggest that they do a little research and maybe check out our website. Now, there's another matter that I want to raise in this area, because they also said that they will restore Brand Jamaica. And I also have to make the point, because it's related, that they have not even mentioned the word multilateralism in their foreign affairs section. Multilateralism is the core of small state foreign policy. One state, one vote is the only way for countries like Jamaica, like our CARICOM member states, small island developing states, to have an equal voice on the global challenges that affect us all, like climate change, like financing for development and other major issues. And to not even have it referenced in a passing way shows a fundamental lack of understanding of where we are in the world and what we need to do to navigate the very choppy seas which exist. And in restoring Brand Jamaica, I have to ask, which PNP leader or member has ever been invited to the G7? Which one has ever been invited to the G20? Which one has ever been invited to BRICS Plus? I don't know if any have. In fact, I know they haven't. But I can say that Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness has attended. And I'm happy to announce and make public that over the past month, he has since been invited to the G20 again by President Ramaphosa, the incoming president of BRICS. Of the G20. He has been invited to the G20 again by the incoming president of G20, President Ramaphosa. So we're not speaking about things that have long gone and that things have changed and our reputation has not at all. Prime Minister Holness, Jamaica, and indeed the government under the Labour Party is held in the highest regard internationally. And if I just add one more, and I know, Mr. Chairman, that I can't go on forever, but which of their leaders have ever been asked by a UN Secretary General to lead any global initiative? Again, the answer is going to be the same to both, because Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been asked to lead more than one on climate finance, on financing for development, on the Sustainable Development Goals, and on which he co-chairs the SG's leadership initiative. I will deal with one more issue of content, please, with your indulgence. On crime, the PNP's manifesto is an absolute and complete and abject failure. On crime, the PNP's manifesto is a complete failure. In a country where organized gangs are responsible for more than 70% of murders, are directly responsible for more than 70% of murders. The PNP's manifesto does not even include the word gang. There's a vague reference to scamming networks in a sentence somewhere in it, but they have not even said the word gangs. They absolutely 100% do not understand how to deal with crime in this country. On the other hand, the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Holness and Dr. Chang, have been relentlessly dismantling gangs, bringing them down from over 300 to just over 100. And that has not changed the percentage or proportion for which gangs are responsible for murder. It still remains at an average 70% because it shifts even with gang activity. I want to make it clear that this fundamental lack of understanding is the very same reason why under the PNP between 1990 to 2007, when they were in office, Jamaica became known as the murder capital of the world.
Sure.
It was under them and their poor crime management that murders moved from 400 to over 1,000. It is under them between 2012 and 2016 that the gangs reorganized, even though they inherited a downward trending murder rate when they took office from the Labour Party in 2012. So this is not a party that you can trust on crime. They have an opportunity or had an opportunity to demonstrate an understanding, and they have failed. I want to make it clear as well that even with that massive demonstration of a lack of understanding, in addition to that, we have more of their cut and paste because of their 27 crime proposals, so the sensible ones, 70% of them are already being done. We are doing them already. Since we're doing them successfully,
Right.
I think that the Jamaican people must understand that we are the party, we are the government in which they should put their trust on crime. Giving them responsibility again is going to undoubtedly reverse the gains that we have had. We are already celebrating more than 40% reduction, supporting the security forces with more mobility, more technology, more strategy, more training, more welfare support, better working conditions, more police stations that are renovated, built, and restored. And in that context, it is the Jamaica Labour Party who is the party that you should trust on crime. So I know that there are more things that can be said. I want to just make clear that Minister Morgan will be taking forward the issue of roads in the days to come. Minister Samuda will take on the environment and water in days to come. He did, however, ask me to make the point that on funding of NGOs, the government is already funding small NGOs in the environmental sector under the GES Small Grant Fund, and he thought it was very important that I make this point. So I'm making it for him, but he will raise other matters. And Minister Green will also take forward issues on agriculture. So I know, Mr. Chairman, that there are more things to discuss, but I will close on that point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Johnson Smith, for a contribution which has made it clear that whereas national security and foreign affairs are concerned, the Jamaica Labour Party administration is achieving positive outcomes on behalf of the people of Jamaica. On the other hand, the PNP is doing quite a job of talking about getting it done and pretending that it is not being done. To all media partners, we thank you much for your patience and attention to this media conference, and we now open the floor for questions. We ask that you identify yourself and your media house. Ask one question, keep the mic moving. Then if you have other questions, we'll get the mic back to you. This is to ensure that as many people as possible get the opportunity to ask questions. Our first question is from... Oh, there are no questions? I think I recognize Dwayne Anderson from Television Jamaica. Dwayne.
Yeah, thank you.
Listening.
Good afternoon to the people at the podium. I remember very well prior to the Jamaica Labour Party coming to power in 2016, a lot was said by the then administration about what cannot be done. And I'm listening to the Jamaica Labour Party on this particular campaign trail, and it's echoing in a similar way, some may say. Are you fearful any at all that you could be going down a similar path?
I didn't understand the question.
Is it 1.5?
Yes. So at the time, the People's National Party administration spent a lot of time telling Jamaicans why certain proposals being made by the opposition at the time cannot work. And it echoes in a similar way now. Are you concerned that Jamaicans may be receiving your position similar to them?
There's a You want me to go ahead and you can. There's a very sharp distinction between then and now. First of all, the results of the 9-year program of this government is very, very clear.
People, I couldn't finish to hear the question, then we jump in our program.
The sentiments on the ground can reflect that. I give you the crime stats that my colleague spoke to earlier. 40% down in murders within a year is historic. Poverty levels, employment, and all the other areas that we have identified. And we have also been able during that time to stabilize the economy, to pay down the debt. So it's a much different context. It's hard for you to compare, 2016 with today, because it's a very different context totally, both in terms of the challenges, but also in terms of the achievements. But the other very sharp distinction, which gives us the right to make the claims that we make, is we say the cut and paste hodgepodge nature of what has been put out by the PNP. The truth is, I would say close to 70% of what they have put there, if it makes sense, because it doesn't make sense in all certain cases, as we have said, it's being done in some way, shape, or form by the government. I looked at what they've said in health, and there's hardly anything there that they've said that we're not doing and making progress while doing it. And the same could be said for education, same could be said for crime management, and so on. So we have a basis on which to say that why change if you're coming to do the same things? And indeed, it's a risk. It's an experiment that is quite risky, because the people who are doing it and getting the results already justify and legitimizes their position as to why they are there. The other guys are saying, okay, we will do it too. The country can't afford that kind of imitation approach. I think, and I say so with the utmost humility and respect for the people of Jamaica and their right to make a choice. We're just trying to bring to their attention the need to recognize the risk involved in supporting that organization when they left the country in disarray. And we have brought it to a particular point where we're making very good progress, doing more for the people of Jamaica.
Yes,
and we believe that justifies us being considered to continue that process. So there's a difference between then and now, we think.
Can I make a follow-on answer?
Sure.
Just,
All right. I can move on now. Blessings, everyone. Bless up. You can mute on the mic. Unmute on the mic. We hear about the cut and paste. Unmute on the mic. You not listen?
It's Quitty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Panelists, good night, everybody on the live.
Good night.
We have been listening to the PNP,
Yes.
Good night, bro.
Everybody on the can unmute, because we have a free floor right now.
Greetings.
Big up. But one at a time, when somebody talk, let them talk, then somebody else can jump in. Yes, brother.
So we have been listening to the PNP anecdotally putting forward their plans, And what you notice, quite a few of what they have been suggesting on the platform going all over the place did not make it to the manifesto. Right. And so what it tells you is that they were not necessarily sure of what they were saying on the political platform. So they came on the political platform, and I guess it's after they saw the achievements of the Jamaica Labour Party and didn't have an answer to it. They went and said, let's see what we can take from this and make it look like plans that we want to put in place.
And them get scared.
So, I heard Damian Crawford in an interview.
Damian Gold Crawford, if you say.
Right, and he was being asked how did he plan to fund the budget after taking the $11 billion, giving back the $11 billion to the NHT. And he said those can come from taxes, right? Now, if you notice, pretty much all their plans that they have been planning to put in place, all the $1 billion and $2 billion and $3 billion that they're planning to give away, their plan is to take it back from the people and give it back to the people.
But Barry, I'm not cut you the saying, but you see the problem with when you had put out your layout and manifesto, is your plan. So basically, everything costs money. And the thing is, with these guys, them not come up with say, okay, this is where we're going to generate the money from. So all you're going to put out a plan. Them things that Jamaican people are fool or what?
But you hear
them days are done enough.
Hold on, the chef. You hear what the finance minister said?
Yeah.
Just certain program.
Item called discretionary budget.
Yeah, no like that, no in our budget.
Discretionary.
Exactly.
The money no name discretionary money.
No. Them things that done.
Them.
All right. Wait, let's
quick. Which one of them have got cut and how them are going to make money?
Quickly, we know politics run. We know things this is not in the 80s or the 70s. Things change. Everybody I watch what going all across the globe, in Canada, in the US. When people put out and lay out them plan, them tell us, okay, this is where the money is gonna come from to fund this program. So it's simple. You have to lay out these things. So if you can't do that, then everybody laughs. People are gonna say, wait, what is them put out? Is that like it don't make no sense? Them put out something like say them are the government. They're not the government.
You know where grab them most? You see how the man them fight against needs, brother?
Yeah, man.
The man them try to put needs in them things and them go have needs.
Yeah, we have a digital identification system. They are going to have a digital identification system.
Yeah,
that
exactly the man
easier for people in business in Jamaica. Yeah, and they took the government to court to fight against it. See?
But Barry, before you move on to that, that point that you made about Damian Crawford talking about returning that $11 billion to
NHT.
To the NHT, and then on top of it, remember now they're gonna give $1 billion to the churches, $1 billion to the disabled community, another $1 billion to
TikTokers.
To TikTokers, yes. And then $5 billion is gonna go to the elderly and senior.
$2 billion for 500,000 for all start.
Yes. So
right?
You know,
it's like giving away like it's a Christmas thing.
Then 1.4 billion, 1.9 billion
for the taxi men.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it is significant to note though, Barry. Did you notice that at the launch of the manifesto, that the person who speaks, who shadows the finance ministry or minister, did not speak?
No, his portfolio has been taken and given to Peter Bunting.
And what about the billions when them send them to give to the church?
Yeah, to the faith-based initiatives.
Exactly.
And I don't know what is the significance. I don't know what is the significance of that.
And that's not supposed to deal with the government. Because that's government, like you don't know it going in the church and the state is two different entities.
Yeah,
you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to trust the election.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. And not only that they're trying to trust the election, but they're trying to bribe people into voting for them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. In other words, you have by the election.
You haven't said plain man, that's the raw word.
You have by the election, but you don't have a cash, so you trust it.
Yeah, trust it.
When you pay them.
You pay them after. You know, which you know, when you look at, and I said it last night here, Squiddy, and then you heard the minister saying it. I said the PNP is by this manifesto, it is telling you straight up that they're not ready. These people are not ready to take the reins of governance in this country.
I guess the minister is already. The last time I tell you is a wish list.
The wish list, yes, it's a wish list. You said it. You said it.
Them are going to start when them say about CARICOM and get like them are more get involved in CARICOM.
Yeah, and Prime Minister Chairman of
CARICOM.
Yeah.
But you know, go ahead.
Sure. Me hear them talk about technology and all of them something. That I point to grab me the most.
which administration implement technology like the Jamaica Labour Party? Right now, if you go to a hospital, say, me there Mandeville, me left from Mandeville, I go say Spanish Town or something. All of the records have been digitized, where if me step in this hospital, they can just pull up my file and see anything where wrong with me and all of them something, you know. The Jamaica Labour Party implement the most technology. Which one I want to ever hear about a app where the Bank of Jamaica develop when you link? Who know about the app then?
Yes.
You see the link app where them develop is a game changer. I don't know how enough people in Jamaica and grab and tweet it. With the link app, you can transfer money from your bank account to the link app and it works just like Cash App in America. You can
It's called Jamdex. It's a Jamaica Digital Exchange.
Yes.
Right? I've been talking about this from the other day, you know. So this is like 10 years ahead of its time.
Yeah. And the second thing about it to Barry, suppose somebody send me money from Western Union. Right now, somebody can send me money from Western Union or MoneyGram, and I just collect the money from my phone, and I can go at any one of the NCB ATM. Then you know NCB have the most ATM in Jamaica. And just use your phone and withdraw the money without through a card in it. Just use your phone, camera, and scan the QR code and type in your money and take out your money. That's what I say. Jamaica implement the Jamaica I and the JI system under the Labour Party where them have how much new facility. I will be able to see them, the Prime Minister show one of them have a Kingston. So how much camera track vehicle say a criminal do a crime. The AI once them put in the car in the AI system, the car automatically anyway it and notify the police. Upgrade. Jamaica have an AI police, bro. You know what I say?
No, but not only that. The camera system, a lot of people don't know, and I'll just say it here, is that the camera system, if it is that the police, say the cameras are in half a tree, and the police is looking for somebody in a blue shirt and a black pants, do you know that the camera system can isolate all the people in blue shirt and black pants?
Yeah.
That's the kind of technology that we have here in Jamaica.
That's the new technology. Yeah, the technology is there, man. Yeah. Jamaica advanced. The technology.
Here, next thing will grab me out. The man said them are going to build back Grand Jamaica. And what are the man them?
No, that has been rebuilt since 2016.
Wait now.
Last time, I tell you something. Last time, I tell you something, they were on function Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? And 16 people there at the function. Right? 10 countries represented. Right? And the country that has the most, I'm going to talk about now United States of America, you know.
Yeah.
Jamaica has the most people, right? We have represented. Jamaica was represented, 2 of us, and we're the only Caribbean country that was represented. The closest country that was represented there was Mexico.
All right. Well, we'll go back to technology. Squitty, I'll tell you something. You know, say, right as I went yesterday, my cousin come check me at the restaurant. That a bar brother. Him drive a school bus. You see what Tanya and Stephen are running off our mouth about the school bus, and enough of them are saying the back long and thing. And the same school bus, everybody drive. I'll tell you something. Let me explain something to you. You might drive school bus, can retire, you know, because I remember say you have a lot of people retire and them work. Certain hours, you still can work. Eliminate them the hours where them work.
Yeah.
Man tell me say I drive a school bus now every minute. I say, oh, I don't see no more drive past the restaurant. They must say, boy, the kids them pan the ends, like I know Vincent Pierre, they have some rowdy kids. They must have make beer nice, and then when them complain about them, the parents run along the bus after and say, oh, you complain about my kid, and he might drive the parents and run along the bus. But where am I explaining to me now, after all these things happen, them start put camera in on the bus. I mean, I say, them just put camera in on the bus. So me I explain to him, say, right now in a Jamaica, them already have that in a Jamaica school bus. And them just start, and I cannot just not talk about in a gentleman.
But listen up, it's the same
them
bus.
Just put that in on the bus of Canada. Because the kids them and the kids wait a minute cut your barry. The kids them went in the school bus, you know. And they're not teenager kid them, you know. Them kids are like 10, 11. You understand what I say? Them kids go elementary school, primary school, them a go. So, but them just too rowdy and making noise, and parents antagonize the driver. So now them are install school bus, camera in the bus. I mean, I explained to him yesterday. I said them thing they install in the bus at Jamaica, because we are get school bus at Jamaica, and them thing that's what them are implement. So the technology what we have at Jamaica, sometimes certain places in America and Canada, it not reach yet. You understand? Jamaica, we are ahead.
But
A lot
Carl,
of countries.
Chef, listen, we're talking about Jamaica has the what is that thing called, Barry? Jumps out of my head. Right, that was just open downtown. That where for forensic.
The forensic lab. Yeah.
Yes, it's a state
Only one
of the art.
in the Caribbean. The
Yes,
best in the Caribbean.
Best in the Caribbean, and it rivals any first world forensic lab.
It's true. A lot of places don't have them thing, man.
Yes, so
Hey, you know, Dexton, we have some machines, you know, that Tufton bought and put in the hospitals, you know, right? That these machines are the first of their kind coming in the Caribbean, you know.
Yes.
You have a machine, I don't remember exactly what it does, you know. The lady said they have like about 80 of those they do for the day. And the machine can handle 8,000 for the day. And they have only 80 tests that they use that machine for daily. But the capacity of the machine is that it is able to handle 8,000 for the day.
We advanced.
Way advanced than where we are.
Yeah, but you know, and not only that, Barry, we're talking about it. If we're talking about technology, let us also remember now that you can stay at home now. You know, you don't have to go join online to register your car anymore. You know, even to upgrade your driver's license, you don't have to go join the line. All of those things are now transferred online. And prior to that, we had the digitization of government records. Remember, when you go to so you need your criminal record, they have to go search through a pile of papers and all that crap. No. All of that is now. All of those things have been transferred online. It's just a click of a button. So those things have been going on. So when the PNP talking about technology and upgrading technology, they're behind. You know, they're behind the ballpark because these things have been entrained.
Them say 70% of what them have in their manifesto happen right now already.
Yes, absolutely.
Them talk about the lunch. Them talk about the lunch for the kids them at school. The people them say out at 2 meals a day them have for kids them right now. Breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch 5 days a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and not only that, Speedy, she added that it's not just for path students, but for students who are not on path but might fall in what you call the vulnerable category. Yeah, if you want it, you know, you go get it.
All who need it, go get it.
Yes, so let me tell you, man, we said it here, and Barry said it last night, and the minister attested. It's a wish list.
Oh, man.
It's a wish list. And any well-thinking person just looking at that manifesto realize that, you know, the PNP is frankly not ready. These people have been out there for 9 years, and this is what they could come up with. They could come up with a plan and what the JLP is doing.
You know the man them, you see, after the book of achievement come out, AI generated the thing for them, you know. That's why they want the JP, you know, we put out for them budget to generate the next one after it. To get the second one with them say they want to put out.
No, Squiddy, and then you know what they did? To distract the people from that, they went ahead, because they're smart, you know, to distract the people from what they have done. They go ahead and talk about, they put it in Patois.
Yeah, Patois.
You know? And the Patois to me is just a distraction from what the real thing is. So you have to consider, you know, let us not look in detail about what it is. Let's look to the fact that we put it in Patois. It's revolutionary.
Next time. Wait now. So they might try blame the Patois put out on the misspelling all the words them that them misspell. That's what they might try to say.
Alright, next time, panelists, you ever hear them read like all the Bible in a Patois? It's like it's a comedy.
Yes, like it's funny, so funny and laughable. It's like Oliver Samuels performing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, patois, and I say this anytime, any place, anywhere. Our broken language, what is called patois, is not for formal conversation.
No.
It is for me and you link up and we have a reason we chat patois.
Yeah,
right?
most definitely.
It's that thing when they use back in a slavery, you know, when the slave them at work, you know, and the white man they go and then talk to them one in that certain way and they don't understand it.
But listen to me, panelists. I put this to you.
Broken language.
I put this to you. You know, Singapore. Singapore is not originally wasn't an English speaking country, you know. It was Singapore has a mixture of people, you know, Chinese.
Yeah,
and
Mandarin. They talk Mandarin over there.
And those people from what are they? Is it from Sri Lanka? Is that Sri Lanka? That country that they once merged with. They merged with that country that they had to separate from. But the Lee Kuan Yew made a distinct move to have English as the main language. Yes, because it is the language of the world. It is a language of trade.
Language of trade. Yeah.
Yes.
And I spoke on that last night, Dexter, and I said, listen to me, that everybody talking about patois. Nobody else but Jamaican know patois.
Nobody else but Jamaica knows it.
When I say where we are going with that, because that is not going to help us anywhere but to communicate back in our country.
Of course.
And everybody, when Andrew Olney speak, right, everybody understand him. When anybody else, I can tell you, you see any patois speak at this press conference to the people? No.
Not one.
Don't you think everybody in Jamaica understand exactly what them say?
Yeah, they do. If they don't understand it by word, they understand it by context.
Of course, and basically all I'm simply saying is that patois is not for formal use.
Absolutely not.
It is for just having a conversation with the people that we know up on the street.
But Barry,
everybody.
You know, when people talk about teaching patois, I always say to them, you don't need to teach anybody patois. Patois is like sex. You know? Don't squiddy, nobody didn't teach you how to have sex.
No, it's not.
No. You don't naturally.
Naturally come,
yeah.
Don't naturally come. You learn it. You learn it.
Yeah, it does pop up. You know what you go do. But so it's the same thing with patois. You're in an environment where people speaking this local dialect. It does come natural. But what you need to learn is that you need to learn the standard English of trade. That's what you need to learn, and that's what you need to reinforce in the society.
That is what put us at this economic advantage.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Our people speak good English language and their accent is very good. And that is why we are able to attract BPOs. Because BPOs requires us to speak to our customers. Yeah? And because of the good quality of the English language that the Jamaicans speak, we are able to attract a whole lot of business.
Yes, that's why those businesses find us more attractive than India and Bangladesh and all of those countries. Because
right across the Caribbean.
Yes, because we have the better, we as a matter of fact, some of us are so good we can mimic the American English. You know?
we can do the English.
Yes.
Also at our English, we can do the American English.
Yes.
Right, and we can do our own English.
Yes. So this fool idea that the PNP pushing. And you remember this? I don't know, Barry, if you remember this guy on panel. If you remember this guy, Rex Nettleford, Professor Rex Nettleford.
Yeah, man, I know
he was a chief advocate of this patois language. And I don't know if you have ever recalled that man speaking patois. I've never recalled him speaking patois. He never spoke it.
And you have this lady named Blackwood Meeks and Professor
the one that is related, that is one related to that guy who was the head of Pulse.
Yeah, Pulse, yeah.
People
people Caroline Cooper and them people.
Caroline Cooper, yes. And they don't target.
They don't target.
Well, Andy, you see, one thing, you know, I agree with what you say because communicating in English make the international community and everybody understand it very well.
Yeah, that's English.
But I don't want to discredit the Jamaican vernacular.
No. We're not discrediting. No, we're not discrediting.
No, you can't do that.
What you have to understand, the patois is a dialect. It's just like in Africa.
Have its place, brother. Have its place.
Yeah, have its place. It's like in Africa. Africa have many different languages, you know.
Yes.
So even if you want to put patois like in a language, but you still have to say, okay, Africa, everything is like a dialect in Africa, but the language where everybody speak.
Hear me, Chef Carl. Chef Carl, listen to this. The thing is that we're not discrediting patois. We have to face reality.
Yeah.
And the reality is, if you go and you teach all our children to speak patois, they cannot compete in the world with speaking patois.
No, but what we are saying,
they cannot compete.
Exactly.
Speaking patois, first to begin, when you go and sit around a table, as Barry said, is the language of trade. When you go and sit around a table with a set of bankers, international bankers, or you sit with some international investors, and they draft up a document. That document is in standard English. Patois. You know how you might understand it that you're teaching children patois?
The main language in the world is English. And then
Spanish-speaking countries are teaching their children
French,
English.
And Mandarin. And them languages are the biggest languages in the world.
Let me tell you
Why do you think the Chinese send their children abroad to the United States to go learn and to England and all over the place to go learn English? Because they understand that it's the language of trade. You have to know it.
That's the first language. Guys, listen up. I have some students. You bring in some other people. Let's quit it. I have some students in my class, they are Spanish speaking kids.
Uh-huh.
The language of instruction is English, right? And you must do your exam in English language. And I tell you something, these kids are at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
I know a couple words in Spanish, right? And I can't speak it fluently, right? And I have to be there interpreting. So what the regular kid will learn in one day, they have to take 2 and 3 days to learn it, because they have to translate it from their language into English and from English into their language.
But it makes sense what you're saying, Barry. It's simple. Because you see what me there, you can ask Quitty that. Because Quitty grew up here, so enough for him spend a lot of time life right. That's how we there in Canada, Montreal, Quebec. It's French.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Understand? Yes, it's a French place over there. And you have English and French. But Buckley is a war over here. Every minute them want to separate from Canada. They want to get independent. Just like how Jamaica get independent from England, Quebec, right? That's how I mean it. They want to get independent from Canada. They want to be their own country because it's a French place with them. Yeah. But at the end of the day, them still have to understand that the main language for the trade, for make them economy big is English. But them still press the case, so them still want to get separate, because them things say them still have like France and all these places them can negotiate. But them themselves, in them head, because the heads of government around the country for them kids, them send them an English school. You understand? So these are the things what happen even when them go for referendum in the 90s and in the 80s. Them try and them fail, because the rest of Canada said, no, we know why you get separate, because if you separate from Canada, and basically the rest of Canada save them ass. If them get separate, them are going to end up maybe like some local, and maybe America will have take over their country. Yeah.
I know, Squiddy, you want to bring somebody else in, but let me just make this point. Let me just make this point quickly, Squiddy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. We have to understand how this world works, right? The first world countries and the economic power cases in the world. These people, they use English as the language of trade for them. It's a language that you're gonna have to learn. Back in the days when the Japanese, right? The Japanese were controlled by the people, the English. They were colonized by the English. In order for these Japanese people to get from under these English people, they had to understudy them. They have to understudy them They have to learn the language. Don't forget, they had to learn the language and they had to learn the technology, right? And they had to advance on what they learned. And I go back to South Africa again. Do you remember Nelson Mandela? I watched a documentary with Nelson Mandela, and Nelson Mandela kept chastising the people in South Africa, the blacks, that they had to learn the Afrikaan language, which is the language of the oppressors. You have to learn it, the language of the white man. Learn it. Don't just isolate yourself into your local dialect, because you have to learn this language so you can take control of the country. So when the PNP come telling us that we want to teach patois and want to bring us into this, want to keep us into this local dialect, what they're doing is they're dumbing down the country.
Yeah.
They want it's a retrograde step that they want to bring us back and isolate us into this little corner.
Yeah.
So that's why it's imperative that we can't go forward with them, because they're not thinking people.
Right. Hold on now. Rapper. I'm going to hear from Rapper. And then Jamaica.
Yeah, man. You bring shout out to all them, man. Yeah. You're listening.
Yeah, bless up.
Yeah. Like you guys are saying, English is like the first language. So, English is the language that you do all your business through from you doing it with the world. But teaching patois in Jamaica, I don't see any sense in it. Because everybody know patois. Something where, as a youth growing up, that's all you talk around each other. Every youth talk patois. We might speak it a different way, but it's the same patois. We do understand the dialogue. Yeah. Anywhere we go in the world, I hear a Jamaican talk. You know it's a Jamaican.
Yeah.
Our patois, a lot of people try to speak patois, but they can't sound like us. We sound different. Our patois is unique.
Yeah. Let me ask you something.
But nobody will teach you that. Huh?
Yeah, man. I want to move up now. Listen. You maybe play the press conference. So you grab your night when I'm explain it. When I'm break it down.
Yeah, but like the people them was saying, most of what the PNP putting forward is like what is already there.
Yeah.
So it's like they just copying and pasting, like they said. Cause you can't be just saying you're gonna do something that is already been done. It is already. Better you say go and continue with what is going on and give who is ever doing it credit. You can talk like it's you doing it. You're gonna start it up and it's already been done. It doesn't make any sense. But I think Jamaican people are that illiterate and dunce and fool. We're not. But these are the days of technology. Everybody can see and know everything that's going on. I think these people think people are still in the 60s and 70s. So you don't know what's going on. Everything is on social media nowadays. It's not like before when it just RJR on TVJ you get news from. You understand? Nowadays everything is out there. The smallest of kids have his cell phone. All you have to do is Google stuff and you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They are treating us like we are all illiterate people. But we are not. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's my 2 cents. So.
All right. Look here from 87. 87.
Yeah, man. Aim splitting the city criminal organization and set up themselves nicely within their manifesto if they form government, which we know that they're not going to form government. But to how they structure it, you know where they are coming with be a corruption. And me talk about when they offer $1 billion to give the churches. You know, see a corruption that. When they talk about them are gonna get them are gonna appoint diaspora in the Senate, and them are gonna appoint Rastafari in the Senate.
And Maroon.
Maroon.
Why they gonna do that when they're in there?
Exactly. They bet together a shop, squiddy. They bet together a shop. You understand what I mean? And nobody take them people as serious quickly because they are just trying to clear the ignorance of the Jamaican people. You understand what I mean?
And most of them step on the platform now in the manifesto, you know.
Exactly.
Teacher them not to pay back their money, all them things that rum.
All them things that exactly, Squitty, exactly. you hear Damian Crawford talking about some things about education. And when you read the manifesto, what Damian Crawford stated on the political platform, a total different thing in the manifesto. Total different thing in the manifesto.
And look where man beat them needs. I say a 6-9, a 6-6-6, them I bring in. And mark at the piece. And them I put in the manifesto. Something from last year, we worked from last year. But last year, you need to ID.
Squiddy, when I heard the education minister, well, she's not an education minister anymore because the parliament dissolved. But when she was, you understand what I mean? Something, I mean, like, actually 70% of what she's doing, Damian Crawford and the PNP criminal organization, take it and put in their manifesto.
Yeah.
And according to Damian Crawford, he's the brightest man in Jamaica right now. And he have all the plan and the solution to the Jamaican education system.
Well, that's for sure. Say, copy and get him brightness.
Exactly.
Copy him brightness.
Damian looks so stupid. I don't know.
I don't think no one can take Damian serious these days.
Everybody in Jamaica here will go on. Copy and paste.
AI generate.
Yeah, AI generate.
Crazy.
It's like
Photoshop business.
Makuya climate now. Slap.
Yes, bless up everyone. Now, Squitty, you can see say the Jamaica Labour Party is a first world government setup, all organized, and the principality and everything about it. It's well up to date. There's nothing rocky about it. It's something to move us into the first world where the Prime Minister tries to show us about a country like Singapore. No joke about it. The PNP don't even have a manifesto, brother. You understand me? Them not organized, nothing about them not good, nothing at all about them already, brethren. Them cannot, Jamaican people are so foolish, brother. Them cannot farm the government, brethren. Them have no foundation, and a big give thing made the man them come like we are dead to know about the country and then brethren, because this is not a this is not a joke thing. The government
talk with them get them money, them billions and billions.
Not talk all them all get. At this time I say quit it. All them not talk where them all get money from. Them not talk all them all spend, them all give away. Them all a big give away and never spend. It's all about giving away. See,
like they said, discretionary spending, that's what they said they're going to use.
But the lady tell us nothing like that in the budget, in the parliament thing, the budget thing there. You know,
they don't know because the person who is in charge of that portfolio, he wasn't allowed to speak.
Yeah, so when we look on it, Squitty, and we see what's going on in the country right now. Even the campaign when the Prime Minister depend right now, it's just some big surprise in also some diated PNP constituencies say we're adding the labor right there. The amount of labor right we see now, that means it's a change that happen where everybody I woke up to it, brethren. What the point? You are voting PNP up a set near a 50 odd years. The PNP control was part the brother one name we are gonna run against the PNP, the one name Maraj or something like that, we name him. Up at that constituency the way them say over 50 years the man them control this constituency for up their dirt. You know, we undeveloped, brother. What the point we are living them in the first world where we are living at, or we all living in them condition there, and no jobs, not at all, and not create the PNP just is a promissory thing and with no future, brethren. I mean, I tell anybody say we have to look to the future. If we not look to the future, it don't make any sense, brethren. That's why we find ourselves in a ditch. You understand? Because the ladies are tell us say any at all. The money will take over about the country. The economy is going to a problem. We're going to a problem.
Here's somebody type here, sir. Brother named Red Dog. He said, Bunting said the JLP approach to crime is too forceful. He's going to approach it different. I pray him will come pray again. Well, you can't go less force than them with them gunman, huh?
But the Bible say, yeah, God help those that help themselves. Yeah.
The man already, brother, I'm going to accept it.
I'm going to use that pressure and make it gang them rise again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You have to
Squitty.
try to help yourself. If you want Father to help you.
Yeah, watch out. Remember in a Squitty realize I say, what the man them do with so much taxpayer money and cause the country for underdeveloped, so the man them keep on taking the tax money and share it up. What kind of madness is that? Our man, our government for share up tax money amongst the rich and then take it off for the poor. What kind of madness is that, Squitty? The country underdeveloped at the first we are experienced development. And Andrew come make we experience it. And if I the young generation, if it wasn't the young generation, it wouldn't happen. Saying when Andrew tell us him there are half a tree over there, and when him look and see the Joan and see the amount of young face, me I see it from my TV and I say, blood, but I pay young people there. At the first political meeting, so much young people.
Brother, no government before, whether PNP or JLP, not do what this government can do.
No, sir. I'm put us much young people.
Them do something, yes. Them do a little thing, but none of them can touch Andrew, brother, in a performance.
No.
No JLP, no PNP. That's why I say choose Jamaica, because I build Jamaica. I want Jamaica to
and that you should appreciate. That everybody should appreciate the development.
Yeah, man, Jamaica first.
PNP and JLP if it vote for Andrew only.
Yeah, man, for real, put Jamaica first.
Yeah, they vote for the country, make the country develop, brother, make we can proud our country.
Squitty.
Yeah.
You hear what the Prime Minister said in his last budget presentation. It's not about the popular, it's not about popular nor fame anymore for him. It's about the legacy. It's about his legacy and what he want the people to talk about when he left office. You understand what I mean? And that is the reason why when he finished his budget presentation, he said choose Jamaica. Choose Jamaica. And man did not say that we must choose the PNP or JLP. He said choose Jamaica. Andrew is focusing on his legacy because he man want to know say when he retire or something, the people of Jamaica benefit massively from his policies and things that he left in this country.
Footer, we can't say you don't have no sense, you know. I pay your foot you have. You don't have no sense. But urban centers take money from the poor. We see a pay your foot you have. You don't have no brain. That's foolish. Inspiration, period. Yeah, well, I make inspiration come in because we make everybody talk, you know. Inspiration.
Yes, gentlemen. Wonderful discussion. I had a little bit of time going through this document, the manifesto. What an
you hear them break it down a while ago at the press meeting. Did I listen?
No, I didn't hear the press meeting. But I think they tried to do a
conference. We paid since evening right through.
Well, I didn't hear it. I joined lately. But what I'm saying here, the only reason why I'll support a GLP putting forth a manifesto, it is because it's a protocol, it's a thing to do. But might I say, the GLP has nothing more to prove because Jamaicans are living its manifesto. They are experiencing its manifesto right now. I don't think they have much to say or much to do, but they will do because it is the silly season. And they would need to put forth something.
The manifesto that the JLP have put on now is things to come.
True. Exactly. So it will only give an enhanced outcome of what is being done now. Because as you said, Squiddy, no other government has performed and has done well like this government. And I'll give you some pointers here. I don't believe Jamaicans realize that first in their history that they could have gotten back a $20,000 tax credit. Never happened. And I think it shows the PNP, it shows them up that they've been in office for 18 years and all they've been doing is fleecing the nation, and therefore the poor. However, we want to know who is now for the poor. Who? Because we have a performance that takes in everybody. There's one other area I'm particular paying attention to. They proposition on the transportation for the school children. What they have not said, who will be getting this money? Who will be the recipient of this money? How will they be paid? Are you paying the families to pay the taxi drivers? Or you'll be unpicking some taxi drivers to pay them to carry and register how many times the children take their taxis? I hope that Jamaicans are paying attention and don't fall for this garbage.
Stop with the inspiration. However, straight out this brother you put that. I said,
don't worry about it.
The JLP and make up something of what PNP put out. Because the 70% of what PNP put out is what's happening already, brother. You know, listen to thing.
You know what the PNP has been doing?
Happening right now.
You know what the PNP has been doing? And what I think I blame the JLP for is when they get on these platforms, such like on a Sunday evening, they need to remind the electorate of what they've been doing and what they've done, because it slips their memory. Because you know what the JLP has been doing? They have renamed the programs that already been implemented by the JLP, the PNP, have been renaming it. So it seems as though we introduced this. All they had to do, all they're doing is rename the program that's already exists. Long ago, the finance minister, Nigel Clark, talked about for first students or first in the family to go to university on some credit. He put in his budget report. We hear the sick guy, education guy, he's saying, we're making. Well, we heard him saying something of similar. And already Nigel Clark did it 2 budgets ago. Nigel Clark.
Point of information, Scooty. You were asking about what you are going to be the people who will be paying.
Some of the background noise, man.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that Damien Crawford would have signaled that he's going to become a taxi man. Because he's setting up himself. He's setting up himself to get some of that money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he was going to Lindsay to start his taxi business the Monday, but he must stop him in them tracks.
And my wife don't taxi window already.
Go back to inspiration. Inspiration.
Yes,
and so what I'm saying is them thing too. That means I'm going to rename it and call it different.
Exactly. And this is why I want. There you go. We want to look deep. There you go. We want to look deep into what they're proposing and let the people know these things already exist. So they don't come around.
Inspiration, you need to go listen to the press conference today. We just played all right through.
I'm gonna take a listen at it. I'm gonna listen at it because I didn't. And this is where all these platforms need to be playing it. Let people realize that this is just a bogus thing. The PNP are they're drawing for straws. They have nothing to go on to. You want to tell me for 9 years they've been nipping at the heels of the government like a little Chihuahua dog, and now the date announced, and they're rushing a document that has so much grammatical error to present it to the people? Are you telling me that this party is up for to form the next government? I'm so saddened by it, and I hope Jamaicans don't fall for this garbage because they have not.
Them are do already. Even the lunch.
They have
them have
exactly.
Get 2 lunch, breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, that's right. And everything already exists. Exactly. And you know what they lie about? They say they went through the community and they formulate these ideas from people who gave them feedback. So we
AI
thought,
family.
okay, exactly. We realized now it's a lie. It's a lie.
Inspiration
Yes.
talking about clutching at straws. So
Yeah.
and Barry can attest to this because he's from South Trelawney, you know? So he can attest to this. So the first time that Barry entered a go-go club, it was a PNP man that let him enter the go-go club, and the PNP man made sure to tell him that it's a part of their campaign. Barry, you there?
Hold on. I have something to play when I go and talk. I'm going to play the man in the go-go club.
To show you how ridiculous the PNP campaign is. This man is campaigning on the fact that he was the first man to bring a go-go club to South Trelawney.
You know, and I am not.
Listen up.
Ask anybody who was the first person to carry go-go come in and between Limas.
What listen?
The first person to carry go-go come.
Oh my.
Steve Warren, give me this. So go and watch it, and we are running in a go-go club. Everything you see. When we start go-go club, we are telling us a fasting. All of the churches come in a South Trelawney. Who remember when all of the churches from Lower Church, Litchfield, everybody wait and we come together. They are fasting. So Paul Packman carry go-go come and
You know the man that campaign pan. He my first man being go-go at South Trelawney.
Is that something to be proud of?
Something that
is that something to be proud of? Have you seen the kind of elected officials that we have, whereas dumb as a brick? Huh? When we look at the community, no wonder why. Exactly, and this is what we're trying to break away from all these years. We're trying to
inspiration.
Yes.
What you say, you know for your fact, cause I don't you got a couple of them down there.
No, never been to one. Don't know
I
what it's like.
thought you said you told me. So I could have tested the fact that you went.
No, never been to any of those stuff. I tell you.
No, Barry, it was me, Barry. I was just pulling your leg. I was saying that the first
time. Man.
Yeah, man. I was saying that the first time you went to a go-go club, it was Paul Patmore that you go to that go-go club, man. Yeah?
But, you know, it just goes to show the level of intelligence that we have among the oppositions who is trying to assume position of running this country. And I said, I hope that Jamaicans are paying attention and don't take it for granted, but let's go out and send them a message, because if we once allow them in, Jamaica's gonna be going backwards for sure. Yeah. And you know what? America is closing its door. So in a little while, they're going to stay there in the misery. There's no visa for them to go to America in a little while. So they're going to be in real bind down there. And everybody wants to run away when the government and when the country is not running right. Everybody wants to take an exit. I think I'm going to have news for them. Well, Donald Trump's going to have news for them. That's not going to happen this time. So
inspiration. Don't worry about it. We're not going over there. We're not going
Definitely. We just want to make sure these people don't see the
I don't know if anybody noticed, you know. I don't know if anybody noticed. You realize the kind of favorable relationship that Jamaica has with the United States?
Yes, to some extent.
Currently with this present administration. Because what happened is that the Jamaica Labour Party is an affiliate party of the Republican Party. And we have developed a good relationship with the Trump administration over the years. You know? And Daryl Vaz has built some very good connections. Daryl Vaz and Ted Cruz are very good friends, you know. Right? And so you see Marco Rubio come down to Jamaica and literally kiss hands and gloves up everybody in Jamaica. Everything he's saying about the Caribbean, he actually made it his pointed duty to say he's not talking about Jamaica. I don't remember if you remember that press conference that he had with the Prime Minister. When he was talking about the Cuban doctors' contract, he said that he is not talking about Jamaica. Everything you hear, I'm not talking about Jamaica. And it was under his watch that we actually brought our thing down, our crime thing down from tier 3 to tier 2. And if things continue to improve and there's a further level to go, we are going to go there. And if there are things that can be had, we are going to get it. So Jamaica is seen favorably in the United. I don't know if you notice now. The Trump administration offered Jamaica visa-free access to the United States. But it came with some onerous conditions and they said no, they're not going to accept it. You know? So I'm not sure if anybody saw that information.
I didn't see it, but there's always a catch to these things. But I do realize the administration is not as hostile to our government as they as people would want to say it. But and I realize how they give us big marks for the low crime or bringing down the crime rate. I saw them during the independence giving us congratulations on that and stuff like that. So I do realize that there's some ray of hope with the administration. But just to say, and as I land, we have something on our hands and we need to fight for it, because if Andrew Onus gets this, the victory on the 3rd, I tell you, you will not recognize Jamaica in the next 4 years. Believe me. It's going to be transformed so much. Believe me.
Okay. All right, make a hold it there. So
Yes.
I choose JA. Make a hear you. I choose JA.
Yeah, blessings.
Blessings.
Greetings to everybody, man. So I've been listening the whole conversation. And
You
I've been,
listen to the press conference?
yeah, man, I was listening to it.
Okay.
And I like the approach that the Jamaica Labour Party took to address it.
Yeah.
Immensely and swiftly.
Yeah.
Because we cannot allow this to soak in to the Jamaican people. One of the things that I will continue to point out is that many Jamaicans is, without reasonable doubt, are still struggling. And we understand that. We know that it is not easy for a lot of people. And let us be real that when you see an opportunity that seems good, anyone who is struggling will take evasive action to ensure that they get a slice of the cake. And for many Jamaicans know that is exactly what is happening. Mark Golding is aware of the vulnerability of the Jamaicans who are struggling, because it would be disingenuous of us to not acknowledge that even in the midst of the development and everything that is happening, even the Prime Minister acknowledges it on the public platform. So it is okay for us to acknowledge that.
Every country is like that, brother. Every country have it.
Every country. He is now.
So you have people who have struggled and sleep on the street.
Yes.
So go downtown Vancouver right now and see 100,000 of people living in a local tent and not struggle. We live on the street in a big Canada.
You need to see Toronto. There's a park called Tent Park. You need to come into Toronto and see it. It's unbelievable.
All over the world, brother. Everybody now go up, now go succeed.
Mm-hmm. But one other thing is this, Squitty, and everybody who is listening. Mark Golding is playing on the emotions of Jamaicans who are struggling beyond reasoning. It's like you're feeling a pain that you can't cure, and as a
result of that. Anything that you get to just get 1 ounce of relief, you're going to take it.
Yeah,
and
but what they do in choose Jamaica? What them do, them play for the people in mind. When them get in, them leave the people in the same condition or worse than what them there.
Yes, and that is a sad thing, because let us look at the rent to own policy that they have. I have heard many people at work saying that they're not going to vote for this for them because they don't like the approach that they're taking. Just recently I heard one of the same girl having a change of mouth, saying that she's not voting for the Labour right this time because she need a house. So I said, so the conversation is now changing. Why? She said, me need a house.
Does she work now?
No. Yeah?
She working?
Yeah, man, she working. No, this person. Well, apparently she haven't applied, but
you have to go apply, man.
They know that Squitty. What she's now hearing based on manifesto, she is of the opinion that she can acquire a house under this scam. Now, there are thousands of Jamaicans who have already applied and they are waiting in the queue. Dr. Holness has told us that he is on his way to produce over some 70,000 housing solutions, in which 40-something thousand is now in development. Now, what Jamaicans fail to understand is that there's something called procurement. The government don't just pull taxpayer money out of thin air and spend it. There has to be accountability. There has to be integrity and transparency. And that is why you have the procurement process. That is a part of it. If it is that he could have just take the money and just do as he ever like, what would the country be today? And would our GDP be at 67% now? Correct me if I'm wrong. Coming from all the way of 147. Now look at that. If Mark Golding is suggesting that them pull 40 million from the NIR and give it to Jamaican people who are struggling, but you're going to take 40 million from the NIR and distribute it, help people with housing, help people with them struggles. When them get the money and them spend it and it finish, what then? What next? What are you going to give them to keep them going? Because is it that within 5 years you're promising Jamaicans housing solutions, a quick fix? What happened to all the people who have already applied and are waiting in the queue? Jamaicans are not thinking about these things. Is Mark Golding going to step over all of those people thousands of people who are waiting for a long time, and give everybody who voted for him a house when they're ready in the next 2 years or something like that? What is the procedure? Because everybody is of the opinion that this man is going to rescue Jamaica, you know. He might go come with a solution. He might go solve the issue of minimum wage. He might go solve the issue of cost of living, which is rocking the entire world, even the first world countries. The Prime Minister in Canada resigned under pressure because of the housing crisis and the food crisis and everything that the people are clamoring about. He stepped down from office because he thought that it is the rightful thing to do. So when you're going to come and lie in the face of Jamaican people, pretending with him wishy-washy manifesto, because I heard somebody said it earlier, that these people behave as if Jamaicans are fools. And yes, we admit that a lot of our population is not properly educated. But from you can spend money, you're no idiot.